Viewers of Reddit, what was your hold it moment where you knew you would win? I had a client who was accused of taking a young woman's car and then crashing it and fleeing the scene. The girl testified at trial that she had given him the keys that night because she was drunk and would never ever drink and drive. Apparently she was not aware that I had requested and obtained a copy of her driving record, which showed she received a DUI a month after the incident. I still remember the look on her face when I handed her driving record to her and said, except for that one time you got caught a month later, right? The look on the judge's face was equally memorable. Not a lawyer, but a family law paralegal. At a trial, the other party claimed they needed spousal support because asthma rendered them unable to work. During a brief recess I asked the attorney to ask her if she carried an inhaler and make her show it to the court. Not only did she not have an inhaler, she didn't remember her last asthma attack, how often she had them, her asthma specialist's name, or when she had been diagnosed. Needless to say, our client didn't have to pay alimony. I'm not a lawyer, but I took my old landlord to court when I was in college. They stole my security deposit over bullshit. They claimed I trashed the place, not knowing that I took pictures and videos when I moved in and out. Their evidence was a VHS quality recording of going through a perfectly clean apartment in better condition than it was when I moved in, but then they opened up the top of the stove and found a single piece of elbow macaroni under it, holding it up triumphantly. That was the crux of their defense. The judge was not amused and I got all my money back, plus my lawyer fees and the filing fee. She then fought against her own lawyer to avoid paying him. Asshole. Man. Had a buddy who lived in a place with 4 people. The landlord straight told them multiple times over the year he was keeping a deposit because they're trashing the place, which they weren't, it was already pretty trashed. It was an excuse to keep their deposit and not fix a damn thing. To get their revenge, they had a party the last night and said, whatever happens, happens, but don't burn anything down, or something to that effect. A small pine tree in the yard had all the branches broken off, a window air conditioner was destroyed, there were holes in the walls, screens were broken out, and a few other minor things. It wasn't anything earth-shattering, just enough to cost him the amount of the security deposit he thought he was keeping and getting away with. Fuck that guy. The plaintiff was being deposed in the lawsuit she filed alleging sexual discrimination. She was claiming her boss had made some inappropriate innuendos and overtures. The defense attorney asked her if when the alleged statements or events took place, was she shocked? No. Was she offended? No. Was she damaged in any way? No. So why exactly are we here? Well, honestly, I'd rather not be. Meanwhile her attorney stared straight down, scribbling notes and doodling. We ended the deposition there and asked her attorney if this was going away now. We got a call later offering to settle for $1,000 and a letter of apology. My best guess is she was pressured by a friend or family to talk to an attorney and the lawyers ran with it without really talking to their client. I knew the cops beat up my client and framed him. They describe a knife in his possession that caused them to fear for their safety. Oddly, they never seized it. We won the criminal case and filed a civil rights case. While deposing one, he described the knife in detail. No more than 3 minutes later, he slipped up and claimed a partner told him my guy had a knife, but he never saw it himself. I told him, that's not what you just said, and saw him panic. His lawyer panicked too and asked to see me outside. When we got in the hallway, I withdrew my settlement demand and the case settled for a substantially larger amount within 45 minutes. Not a lawyer, but the judge had to tell my ex to sit down and stop talking in divorce court. My lawyer was pretty confident he had the upper hand after that. Not a lawyer, but I heard this from an acquaintance who deals with law. The young adult defendant was accused of drug possession. The lawyers managed to make the case that the drugs didn't belong to the defendant. The judge ruled in their favor. The defendant then said, "Great, can I have my drugs back?" Well, the judge was still in the room. My mom hit a guy on a bike with her car in a parking lot. She claimed he hit her. She also wanted to countersue the cyclists for scaring her. In her deposition, she started every sentence with "when I hit him." Obligatory, not mine but my mom's story. She was fighting for custody on behalf of the father, trying to prove that the kids were living in subpar conditions with their drug addict mother, in spite of the ample child support provided. It was a tough case because courts are so hesitant to pull kids away from their moms. Then the mom burst out that she had been feeding the kids cat food as proof that she wouldn't let them starve. Needless to say, the judge didn't take that as a good reason for the kids to stay with their mom.